G'day fellas and welcome. It is patch review, the very first patch of 2022 for Age of Empires 4. We're jumping right into the deep end now. I've already had a chance to look at these notes, so we're going to be going through. I'm going to be talking about it, analyzing it, and trying to understand exactly why some of these changes were made, and most importantly, how they're going to affect the game, and most importantly, affect whether I'm going to want to play the game more, which is the most important thing, isn't it? You know, whether you want to play a game. So let's talk about what changes we've got. First and foremost, let's just get this one out of the way. You can't watch your replays from previous patches, so make sure you watch any that you want to watch before this update hits. This update will actually be hitting, where is it? It's somewhere here. It's soon. It is super duper soon. So we'll talk more about that the further we get into the video, but let's see what we've got here. General, the rate that we widen the acceptable pool of appropriately skilled players to match you with has been increased by 67%. We expect this to lead to faster matchups without proportionally compromising match-up quality. This is great. Now, if you're, say, around rank 500 and below, it's probably not going to affect you that much, but it is definitely going to affect you if you're above rank 500. Typically, you can see matches that are going up until like 4 or 5 minutes or like in the quick search. And the worst part is, it's archipelago and you just alt F4. Can I just say I love the developer notes in here. This is really, really good if you're a little bit confused about why a change is made. They're actually providing insight, and this is so great when it comes to communication. So 10 out of 10 to you guys. Scouts now move 35% slower while carrying an animal carcass. Oh my lord. Rejoice, rejoice, rejoice. Now, I've done the math for you guys on this. Now, I don't know if it's going to be accurate because sometimes the math in this game can be a little bit whack. I'm sure you guys know. But anyway, I'll alt-tab, I'll show you. So, we've got the 1.62 movement speed divided by 65 times 100. And that is going to give us, or divide by 100 times 65, 1.053 movement speed. So, technically, a spearman should be able to chase down a scout with an animal carcass. I believe technically archers should be able to as well. Pretty much any unit except for like a Mongol town center should be able to chase it down. So that is a great change, and that's exactly what we want to see. I think from this change, we're probably going to see players a little bit more defensive with their professional scouts, and probably less of an impact on the overall meta. So that is a great change. Very excited to see that. Horseman 2, 3, 4 ranged armor increased by +1 at each tier. Oh my lord, what a great change right there. So this is going to buff up the Horseman. As you guys know, the Horseman, not very pretty at the moment. But my reading of this is that it will actually go, so at the moment it's +1 ranged armor in Age 2. It should be +2 ranged armor in Age 2, then +3 in Age 3, then +4 in Age 4. That's what I'm reading into that. So hopefully that is correct. And if that is the case, well, Horsemen might be back on the menu, boys. So that is a great change. Holy Roman Empire. Spearmen now activate the Spear Wall ability correctly. Great. Fixed an issue of the Prelate getting stuck while inspiring and would no longer inspire other units. Wonderful. This means that we might actually start to see the mine work. Is it the mine work palace? It's, I can't even remember the name of the landmark just simply because it's so uncommonly used. Great changes there. Look, I don't think that the HRE really need to be touched that much. I think they're in a pretty good spot, and once you fix these kind of bugs, I think they're going to be pretty decent. Obviously, it's a bit more dependent on the map that you get, but I think overall, this looks pretty decent. Let's turn that music up a little bit, Drongo. Let's get that in here. Got dragons on the wall right here. All right, Rus. Horse archers now attack slower. Fire rate changed from 2 to 2.5. Well, hold on, can I just stop you right there, developers? The fire rate for horse archers was actually 1.5, but it was listed as 2. Let's have a look. We've noticed a larger issue with attack speeds in general, and we'll be doing a more robust fix in the future to address this issue. Interesting. Okay, so the horse archer fire rate was actually 1.5. Like, I remember someone posted a video on Reddit where they were measuring it, and it has a 1.5. So hopefully that's actually been changed to 2.5 and not just 2. Horse archers no longer receive additional attack speed and additional damage from the incendiary arrows technology. Okay, great. Warrior monks now move 25% slower while carrying a relic. Okay, that's wonderful. That is really, really good to see. Developer note, in congruence with this scout speed reduction, we're making this change to allow more counterplay against warrior monks quickly grabbing up relics on the map. Wonderful. Amazing play. These are appropriate Rus nerfs. Really good to see. Horse archers being nerfed. that is a highlight. Obviously, they've also nerfed professional scouts, which is a nerf to the Rus as well. So this is a good change. This is definitely a change in the right direction. The question is whether we're going to be able to see enough counterplay against the Rus fast castle. Obviously, it's very strong, and with warrior monks being 25% slower, I'm not sure exactly. I mean, we can calculate it on the fly. I think they got 1.62 movement speed. We'll divide it by 100, and we'll times it by what is it, 75? So we've got 1.215. So technically, like, if you're opening horsemen against the Rus, you should be fine technically against this. Who knows? Maybe like a horseman opening is actually going to counter the Rus horse archers now, just because they're going to have the higher armor. And then, like, professional scouts, you're going to be able to catch the scouts. Oh, man, this is actually fucking good. This is making me want to play the game again. I will be honest with you guys. I want to play this game again. Okay, Mongols. This is the big one. Do I think this is going to be enough? I think this is the correct direction. 100%. I think that it is enough at this stage. Remember, you don't want to just fucking nerf the Civ into the ground. You want to take it slowly. And they've taken one hit to their horse archer, one hit to their warrior monks, one hit to the professional scouts, and then throw into account that horsemen are also going to be stronger, which is going to counter the horse archers. I think that this is definitely, you know, watch out, Rus players. That's where we're at. Mongols. Starting wood decreased by 50. Okay, updated to clarify previous wording. Mongol civilization gets off to a fast start, but not needing houses and enhanced stone income from the Uvu. This change is targeted at slowing down the opening and giving enemies more time to muster a defense. Okay, so Mongols start with 200 wood. This takes them down to 150 wood. And they can still drop their Uvu at the beginning of the game. They can still drop a dock at the beginning of the game. In my opinion, this doesn't actually slow them down a lot. At most, I think you're slowing them down by 10 seconds. What I think would have actually been better, just decreasing it by 100. And the reason why is because then it would actually delay the Uvu from going down, and could also delay a dock from going down, would also delay barracks from going down. But obviously, it's baby steps. You know, I talked about up here baby steps. You don't want to over-nerf things. So I think it's definitely a change in the right direction. Is that going to be enough? Who knows? Let's read on. Outpost cost increased from 70 wood to 100. Again, this brings the outposts in line with the other civilizations. Is it going to be enough? Yeah, I think it's a good start. It's a good start. The main thing that I'm still seeing at this point is I can still very easily go Uvu into barracks, into outposts, and I'm still going to be fine. Like, I can still tower rush. There's, like, it is in the equation 100%. Developer note, we found the outpost rushing strategy to be too low of an investment for Mongols for how powerful and difficult it is to counter. Mongol outposts are still special as they provide the YAM network movement speed bonus. Okay, yeah, so, sure. All right, I'll accept that. Fixed an exploit where it was possible to own multiple Uvus at the same time. The Mongol Kaghanate paths can now be packed correctly. Can I just say, I love that they've got bugs, or bug fixes and balance changes in the same thing. Because I remember going through the first patch notes, and it was like the bug fixes were more impactful than the balance changes. And like, as you guys can see, like a lot of the these bug fixes are like massive for balance as well. So I just want to compliment the devs with regard to that. You guys are like fucking smashing these patch notes. So 10 out of 10 on that one. So overall for the Mongols, I think that this is definitely a change in the right direction. The two primary nerfs that we're seeing here are beginning of the game, so it's going to affect every single Mongol player, and they're very baseline nerfs. My fear is that Mongols are still going to be the strongest Civ. I still think they're going to be S tier from this. I'd be curious to see how that actually plays out, but I genuinely can't see anything that's going to stop a Mongol player from doing a, you know, just your standard fast castle, your tower rush into fast castle. I still think that's going to be very strong, but we'll have to see how it plays out. Who knows? There might be room for counterplay. Now that the horseman has been changed. All right, let's move on to the Delhi Sultanate. Spearmen now activate the spear wall ability correctly. Wonderful. Keep tech times are no longer increased while in the influence of a mosque. That's very funny. Yes, we had to build our keeps outside the influence of the mosque. Piety base research time reduced from 600 seconds to 135. Massive buff. Explosive base research time increased from 300 seconds to 900 seconds. So I think that's the age for explosives for the demo ship. This now correctly matches with the other research times. Average cost technologies and Imperial Age technology research times for the Delhi are based on their power level and the age that the technology is available in. Yes, so that's it. Cannon chaser cannons, base research time increased from 450 seconds to 1350. So again, bringing that in line. Hardened spearmen base research time reduced from 10 seconds to 105 seconds. Wonderful change. Sanctity base research time reduced from 300 to 210. Herbal medicine from 300 to 180. Honed blades research time reduced from 1350 to 300 seconds. Okay. This is big. The music stopped at like the perfect time as well. This is big. I actually think Delhi are going to be one of the best civilizations in the game. Spearmen plus keeps actually being good. Now, hopefully that means that keeps have their tech times reduced within the influence area of a mosque, because if that is the case, you're going to see a lot of people going for the what's it called? The landmark in age 3. Oh man, this is what I'm saying, man. It's been so long. The one that reduces the cost of stone buildings. That one. God, I can't even remember it, man. I don't know if it's the COVID at this point or if it's just me. But anyway, that landmark is going to make this civilization awesome. Combined with the fact that you've now got faster research speeds on all of just your base monastery or mosque stuff, it's so cool. You're gonna have really good. What are they called? Scholars. There we go. All right. So yeah, overall, I think this is good. I think this is a massive Delhi buff. They are going to be potent. They're going to be strong on hybrid maps. They're going to be strong on land maps. I genuinely think Fast Castle is going to be like Tower Rush into Fast Castle for the Mongols and for Delhi is going to be so strong. You open with Spearmen and you go straight into like towers, tower up your enemy's gold and then go into a Fast Castle, look for owned blades, or if you want to look to wall your opponent in, do that as well. So I think that is impressive stuff. Chinese Fire Lancer. Cost increased. So they've increased the cost by 40 food per Fire Lancer. I think that's a good change, because keep in mind that they do have the Age 4 landmark, the Spirit Way, which actually reduces the cost of that down. Bonus versus ranged unit type removed. So just like the horseman, they actually had a bonus versus the range type. So developer note, we envision this unit as a hit and run raider that's effective versus buildings, siege, and villages. In addition to this, the current AoE damage is so powerful, it can quickly nuke and kill most units. We've targeted these changes at making the Fire Lancers overall less cost effective at fighting enemy troops. I think that's a great decision. Oh, there's more. Okay, Fire Lancer. So they've increased the health at both levels. Charge weapon area of effect damage will now deal 50% damage to the surrounding enemy units instead of 100. Big nerfs to the Fire Lancer there. Okay, and torch damage reduced from 51 to 36. So a pretty big nerf there. Still got higher torch damage than every other unit, I'm pretty sure. Weapon damage reduced from 15 to 13 in the Imperial Age. Charge weapon damage reduced from 25 to 33. And torch damage in the Imperial Age reduced from 55 to 40. So these are all great changes to China. These are appropriate nerfs, in my opinion. I think that the Fire Lancer in particular was a very strong unit, especially in team games. I lost many a game, even in 1v1 against China, who just makes Fire Lancers because they're so strong. I think that this is probably the biggest change right here. But the fact that they've removed the ranged unit type bonus, plus they've also increased the health, means that they're probably not necessarily going to be playing more of a tanky unit, because keep in mind, they've got very similar stats to the Horseman, so the Horseman's probably going to be doing that. The Horseman also gets the +1 armor per age now, so God, in Imperial Age, those things are going to be beasts. But the Fire Lancer, I mean, I think if that's what they're envisioning for this unit, then I think that that's what they're going to achieve with these changes. So nice changes overall. A reduction in the strength of China, but a necessary reduction. What is next? We believe this patch works towards our goal for fair and fun play across skill levels and provides more opportunity to execute at a high level with more of our civilizations. We'll be keeping an eye out for your response as we continue to fine-tune. In the meantime, we've already begun to prepare a February patch based on what we've seen in the forums and other social channels, as well as in our own experiences in-game. Right now, we're looking into strengthening the Abbasid dynasty, great. Improving counterplay versus siege weapons, great, because at the moment it feels like Age of Siege. Tuning demo ships, great. Ensuring elephants and mounted cavalry units no longer attack faster when their animation is cancelled, and a variety of other changes. Wonderful. Now, if there's one thing I'm disappointed about, it is that this hasn't been changed in this patch, but I understand that it's a long process to get these in. You got a big pipeline when it comes to the changes. So overall, if I'm going to be reviewing this patch, if I'm going to be giving it a score out of 10, I'm going to go with 10 out of 10. I think this is 100% in the right direction. I I'm very happy with all these changes. There's not a single change that I'm scratching my head at. There's not a single thing that I'm wishing wasn't in here. It all makes sense to me. I'm looking forward to the Abbasid changes. It makes a lot of sense. But yeah, realistically, I think that the only big issue is going to be the Mongols, and I think decreasing their starting wood by 50 probably isn't going to be enough to stop them or to reduce their impact or reduce their power. I still think they're going to be the #1 pick in tournament games, especially. I suspect we're probably going to have to go a little bit further, maybe to 100, or decreasing it to 100 wood, or decreasing it by 100 wood rather, just so that they don't start with enough to drop down that Uvu. Because you really got to think about it from the perspective of if you're dropping down an Uvu at day 0, day 1, right? You're not having to, you're getting that stone trickle that whole time. And that's trickling pretty quickly, so you basically got that Uvu from the very beginning of the game. If you reduce the wood cost down below that threshold where they have to create an Uvu, they then have to pack or unpack their town center. They've got to get their villagers over, chop wood, get 50 wood, and then send the village out, build the Uvu. I don't know, maybe that just nerfs the Uvu too much. We'll have to wait, we'll have to see. But my suspicion is that Mongols are still going to be very strong. But anyway, fellas, make sure you leave a message or a comment down below. Let me know if there's any changes that you think they missed. Personally, I'm pretty happy with this. I think this is great when it comes to balance, and I'm very satisfied with how this has gone. So I'll catch you guys in the next one, and I look forward to creating a lot more content for Age of Empires 4 now that the power of the Mongols has been reduced. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.